What is up? It has been a minute since I've done a video. Um, I just haven't had much to say, at least nothing I wanted to talk about. Um, been going through a lot as usual, internally, of course, in life as well. But one thing I thought about today, I feel like I want to talk about. I've talked about this in passing a little bit, I think. I feel like I made a video about it a while back, maybe talking a little bit about it. But anyway, I have completely let go of the concept of God as we know it. And it's nothing to do, well, it is, but it's not. I feel like that overhang of religion has still been fucking up my life a little bit. Um, I think that can also be sort of a source of desired perfection when it comes to how I view myself and how much grace I can give myself and all of these things. I was sitting in my room today. I was feeling quite sad and I was just sitting in my chair. I'm thinking about in my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be. You remember where that's from? If you don't know where that's from, I don't know. I don't know if we can still be friends. But I was sitting in my chair and I was thinking about the biggest issue that I've been having within my head is the two sides of myself combating. The side of myself that wants the stability and is tired, honestly, extremely tired from just going and trying and figuring. Like, I'm tired of trying to figure out everything, having to feel like I need to figure out everything because it's requiring a response from me right now. That type of figuring out, not the, and see, I could just feel like the old workings of religion like ruling my life, and I don't like it. And I just realized it creates a level of discord that was not there before the thought popped up. So, when people be like, trust in God completely and trust in this and trust in that. To be completely honest, I don't trust shit right now. Like, I barely trust this bed that I'm sitting on. Like, it might disappear. I don't know. But I don't really trust anything right now. If I'm just being totally honest, I don't trust anything. I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust myself right now, if I'm just being completely honest. Um, because I felt like I've always struggled with making the right decision. And I feel like a lot of the reason, or part of the reason why I'm having trouble trusting anything, including myself, is this super high expectation of perfectionism of how I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to act and move in the world. Everybody acts like you're supposed to have some amazing life and you're supposed to, especially when it comes to religion, live faith based and da 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 da. And I look at everybody's life who says that shit. And I'm like, you not too much better than you was years ago when you said the same shit. Like, I'm just recognizing the pattern of how this shit really, I don't want to say deforms, but it's like brainwashes in a way. Everybody, a lot of these people, not even just religion, I'm talking about spirituality too. I feel like that's what I talked about. I talked about getting rid of spirituality and the way, the whole spiritual movement shit. Everybody is in this space where it's like you have to be, trusting and believing and all these different things. And I look at the people's lives, I look at our lives as a whole, and nobody's life, like, this world has not been improved by religion, spirituality, or none of that shit. Like, straight up. If you think about the world as a whole and all the different religions and belief systems, new age, whatever, nobody's life as a whole has been improved by that. Maybe people's personal lives, but I'm talking about us as a human population. We are so fucked. And everybody, like nobody see, like people don't see it or they ignoring it, especially the United States. Like we are fucked. Like we are literally the Titanic sinking. The bridge, like half of the ship has already broken in half. But people still walking around playing, like the little band that was playing to pretending like ain't shit going on. Like, I don't know. It's all kind of disturbing. But anyway, I'm all over the place because I have a lot of thoughts. But just thinking about this for myself right now in this space of like, it's kind of, I've done it to myself, like my whole algorithm and all of my YouTube and I don't really, sometimes I go on TikTok, but it's just so stupid now. So mostly YouTube is filled with like spiritual stuff, inspiring stuff, craft stuff, witch stuff, travel stuff, whatever. And all of these different inspirational videos that say, oh, this and oh, that. And I'm like, not really. I'm like, not really. And it's just like, I recognize when I see those things and then the old programming kicks in, that's when my life gets miserable. Like when I'm not actively thinking about any of that shit, when I'm not thinking about trusting, when I'm not thinking about um, believing, or when I'm not thinking about pushing my life forward or where I should be or how I should be spiritually and how I should be healed and all of these. When I'm not thinking about none of that shit, my day is pretty okay overall. Even with the problems, like I can just tune things out and it's fine. But when I start thinking about, well, I should be here and I should be, and I think, and I was talking to my mom about different stuff like this earlier today. Well, yeah, well, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, so yesterday. But how I think, and I think my brother has this too. I definitely know he's ADHD. He may be on the autistic spectrum as well, but we take things a little bit too literally. And I'm looking over my life, I'm realizing that, in my opinion, I don't think I take things literally, too literally. I think I'm doing what's asked of me. But apparently, other people don't see things that way. So, if you ask me to clean up, right? Say, I want this place to be spotless by the time I comes back. For me, in my mind, I'm taking that literal. Like, I'm gonna be cleaning every inch of this fucking place. Like, you ain't finna see no dust nowhere. And then if you come back 2 hours later and I'm not finished, they're like, why are you not finished? Well, you said you wanted to be spotless. Well, not spotless, spotless, just, generally clean. Well, what the fuck is generally clean? Like, like I'm realizing, like, I need full on directions of what people ask of me because I will take it to the end. Now, I will take it all the way to the end. I realize that in work, when they say, we want you to do this job, we want you to do a great job, I try to do a great job, and then it's like, well, we need to do this faster. Okay, I'm doing it faster, but then you made a mistake. Make up your fucking mind. And don't ask me to do one thing. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And then you put some more. No, I'm not doing all the other shit. That ain't what I signed up for. Period. But I'm ranting. But anyway. So I'm realizing that I tend to take things to the end. Maybe a little too literal. Maybe a little too extreme. But it's like, if you're asking me to do something and you say, I want it spotless, or I want it to look like this, I want it to look like that, and I go to do that, but that's not what you really meant. What? Anyway. So I'm realizing that when it comes to beliefs, I feel like I've been taking them a little too literally. Um, Even when it comes to the whole healing thing, I feel like unless I'm fully, my mom was talking about this too. unless I'm fully healed, unless I have to do everything, and then I could step away and say I did it all. And it's like, why do you have to go to the end? Like she was talking about when helping people, I want to help as much as I can help, and then uh, after I'm done helping, I can then wash my hands of it. Why can't you wash your hands of it when you see it's not working? Like, why do you have to go to the end? You know, when I'm doing something, why do I have to get all the way to the worst parts just to see it all? Like, I have to know. Why do you have to know all of that? Why do you have to take it so far? And I feel like, all of that to say, I feel like religion, spiritual beliefs, in the way we believe them, God in the way we see it, has been a inhibitor of my life. When I focus on myself, when I see myself as God, and not this delusional, like, I feel like what we see God as is some sort of delusional made up fairy tale. Like, God has to be this perfect thing and it has to be this all knowing, all being. I don't think that's what God is, because I'm not that. Like, I have no reference for things that I don't know about. But when I think about myself, if I am an extension of God or extension of that consciousness, and this is how I am, who I am, I'm not perfect, I'm not all these different things, then God must be that too. Because if I am made from the same stuff and I am that being in human form, then God is on the same journey that I'm on too. I think that's the gag that people can't accept. They can't accept the fact that God is literally on the same journey you're on. Like, as you're discovering, it's discovering too. As you're being, it's being as well. It doesn't know where this whole thing is going. It has I feel like it has an idea of what it's trying to get to, but it puts itself in different scenarios where it doesn't know where it's going to go. The whole thing about exploration with humanity, I feel like that's the bug that spirit has, this exploration to go and to know. The whole purpose of that is that you don't know. That's why you explore. You know everything that's in the past. You continue going into the future, continue marching forth into new territory because you don't know what is there. That's the whole purpose of discovery, discovering what you don't know. And I feel like God is on the same journey. I feel like the spirit, the higher parts of my spirit, has an idea of where I'm trying to get to. But this version of me, this crystal, is still in the exploration process to maybe get there, maybe not. I don't think it really cares where it gets there or how it gets there or when. It's just like, let's just see how this goes. I'm going to put you in this scenario with all these different factors and let's just see how you do. And when I look at things from that perspective, it just takes off so much pressure. I feel like the whole guise of religion is to give you a structure in a structureless world. That's the intention, but it's become something so toxic and something so like the equivalent of a fairy tale that doesn't make sense. When you look at it, compare it with nature and everything around you, it's not that. Like, I just really feel like people are so brainwashed. Like, really. They're going to say, oh, God is going to fix the world and God is going to do this and God is going to do, like, hollering every Sunday, or the spiritual people hollering at the top of their lungs in their videos, the new age people, you know, dedicating their whole life to this thing. And that's great, but I feel like there's a level of delusion that doesn't help humanity. Like, it doesn't fix the problems. It just exacerbates them. It just really allows people to settle for less than they deserve. I notice a lot of heavily faith-based people. It's a lot of things in between, but the extremes are really extreme. You have the people who, New Age and religion, who are super faithful. They have all this faith in God and spirit and all that, but they are really fucking poor. Like, not just poor in things, but poor in life. Think about all the people who would go to church and giving their money to different, to the church and all things like that. These people are fucking poor. Like, grandma been believing in God and trusting in God for over 50 years, but she still ain't got shit. Like, she's still struggling. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit. And I feel like it deludes people to believe that that's how you're supposed to live. Like, that's okay to just constantly survive to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. That doesn't even make sense. Even with the spiritual community, it's the same type of shit. And then you have the ones who are extremely wealthy and they have all these things and oh, believe in God, believe, but it's something fucked up about them. Like, like I just can't explain it. Like, it's like you have to cut off a version of yourself that really sees what's happening. That you're supposed to be helping all these people, but in reality, you're just taking from them. You're giving them, you're selling them an idea of how they're supposed to live and who they're supposed to be, but they never actually improve. But you have all this money, and that's okay. And that's fine if that's what you want to believe, but there's something fucked up about that. You know what I mean? Like, I remember the reason why we stopped going to a Baptist church that my grandfather was going to. Um, I'm not gonna say the church. I'm not gonna be shady. It was a church in Houston that my grandfather used to go to that my mom eventually went to. And the main reason why we stopped going there because one day the pastor had a sermon about how basically people wasn't tithing enough. People weren't paying enough. And a little snippet about how, because they have all these different, like, you got the pastor's thing, you got your, why is there so many fucking things to pay for? The pastor's thing, you have the thing for the first lady, you have the thing for the regular tithe, the thing for this and that, just all these things. And how people were sending his wife more money than him, and he bust his ass up there every day preaching to us. Just like some just delusion. Nobody obligated to give you shit. Like, you just showed up. What are you talking about? Ain't nobody tell you to stand up there and talk. You could have just left. But it's just like there's a level of cutoff. Like, you have to be blind to what the fuck is happening to not see that nothing has changed. Out of all the thousands of years that people have been praying and hoping to God, what has changed about humanity? What has really gotten better? If you look at us as a society, it's only ever gotten worse. I'm not saying that religion should be the ticket to everybody being better. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that if it's something that you dedicate your life to, wouldn't you want it to be something that actually improves the lives of the people around you and not just helps them to survive with less? The idea that you can believe in God and God does all these great things, but it's okay for a motherfucker to have more money than everybody in the world combined. Like, we fucking live in a level of delusion. And that's great, but I don't want to be a part of that shit anymore. For me, I feel like I'm at a point right now where I want to relearn how to trust myself. And they say trust in spirit, trust in the universe, trust in God, I want to relearn how to trust me because I don't think I ever have. Because I've had this high expectation of who I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to operate and live, morally right or correct in this world. And I just don't want to do that shit anymore. So for me, the belief in God as we all know it, spirit, the universe as we all know it, that's done for me. I want to believe in myself. And whenever I cut off all of that shit and bring myself back to me, I feel more at home and things make more sense. Um, and there's a part of grief that comes with that too. For years and years of being this way and believing in a certain way of things to not. There's a part of me that fears that. But the greater part of me, I just sat in that chair and I just allowed myself to not believe in anything but me. And I could feel my anxiety levels just fall. And I felt okay for a few minutes. And then the anxiety levels went up, but what if, but, you know how that goes. But I feel better when I believe in me and not other things that have this control over my life. I'm okay with the universe doing its thing. I'm okay with my own spirit doing its thing, the thing that works in the background that I don't know what's going on. I definitely know that's there. I'm okay with that. So, yeah, I hope that was helpful. Love you. Bye.